Intimacy, being into somebody, cannot happen if you don't spend time with them. You have to spend time with him, time learning about him, time in his word, reading spiritual literature. Watch this. Now, here's another thing that we miss, and this is one of the things that's changed my life. Spend time in his word, spend time learning, but spend time with spiritual habits. Spend time in some spiritual habits. Develop some spiritual habits. Now let me watch this. Let me give you this one. If you want to develop a spiritual habit, watch this. Spend time with him, and you will find yourself doing something that's right on a regular basis. I'm going to say it again. If you want intimacy, got to talk to him, got to spend time with him, spend time learning about him, spend time in his word, spend time with spiritual habits. And when you develop a spiritual habit, watch this, you begin to do something right on a regular basis. Spiritual habit, feed the hungry, go street witnessing, go to a private shelter of some sort and volunteer your time. Spiritual habits create intimacy. Talk to him. Don't treat him like, a co-worker that you really don't like, but you got to deal with. Talk to him. Spend time with him. Don't be fair weather. Don't just want to spend time with him when it's rough, but spend time with him in his word. Spend time reading spiritual literature. Spend time with spiritual habits, not religious habits, spiritual habits. What's the difference, Bishop? Religious habits are the things you do so that you could be accepted by God. Spiritual habits are the things you do because you know you're accepted. You just want to get deeper in and closer to him. Talk to him. Spend time with him. Now, this is the one I want to spend a little time on. Trust him. If you're going to have spiritual intimacy, that's going to cause you to bear fruit. Let's not forget, that's what we're talking about. You've got to talk to him. You've got to spend time with him. But then you've got to trust him. Oh, man. Trust him. Solomon says, wisest man who ever lived other than Jesus. He says, trust in the Lord with all your heart. You know what that simply means? That means put all of your eggs in his basket. Put all of your eggs in his basket. Trust him. Bishop, I got that. That sounds good, but help me out. How do I really trust God? I'll tell you how. Real simple. You ready for it? You trust God, watch this, by doing what God says to do in every situation. By doing what God says to do in every situation. Watch how it works. I'm talking to God regularly. We talking all day long. I'm talking to him. He's talking to me. We're spending time together. I'm doing spiritual habits. I'm in his word. And then I get in a situation and he tells me, because I've been talking to him, he tells me what to do because I've been spending time with him, and I do what he says. That's trusting him. Say it again. I've been talking to him. I've been spending time with him. And then I'm in a situation. And the situation I'm in, he tells me exactly how to handle it. And I do exactly what he says. That's me trusting him. See, trust is not a feeling. Trust is an act. It's not a noun. It's a verb. You're saying to the Father, when you say you trust him, is whatever you tell me to do, that's what I'm doing. However you tell me to handle the situation, that's how I'm handling it. When you trust him, when you spend time with him, when you talk to him, you create intimacy. And intimacy creates capacity. What do you mean? The more I get into him, the more of him he allows me to experience. Man, I'm teaching in here tonight. The more I get into him, the more of him he allows me to experience. Let me see if I can't make it plain to you. If I take a glass, go down to the bay, the body of water, the bay, and scoop up a glass of bay, all I'm going to have is a glass of bay. If I go down to the bay and I bring me a bucket, all I'm going to have is a bucket of bay. If I go down and I bring me a trash can, all I'm going to have is a trash can of bay. If I go down and bring me a big old dump truck and scoop up some bay in that dump truck, all I'm going to have is a dump truck full of bay. What's the point? You got it. Whatever I bring to the bay has got enough water to fill it. When I spend time talking, when I spend time learning about him in his word with spiritual habits, when I spend time trusting him, I am intimate and I'm building my capacity. See, and I used to think that being real spiritual and bearing fruit, those actions that please God and benefit others, I used to think that was solely based upon how much word I knew. Oh yeah, how much word I knew. Going to school and getting some degrees. Oh, I really got intimacy. No, I got intelligence, but I didn't get intimacy. Because intimacy is a result of me talking, spending time, and trusting. And that's what's missing a lot of times in churches. There's no intimacy. Folk are not into God. They're into the preacher. They're into the choir. They're into the latest fad of ministry. But they're not into God. And that's not some lofty, spooky thing. It just simply means talking to him, spending time, and trusting him. That creates intimacy. And intimacy causes you to bear fruit. Intimacy causes your life to please the Father and benefit others. But not only do we ask the question, how does this happen? But the other thing that we see from this bearing fruit is not only does it come about as a result of intimacy, but look what it does. It glorifies the Father. When you and I bear fruit, the Father is glorified. Can I put it where you could really get it? When you and I bear fruit, we allow God to be seen in us by others. I'll say it again. When we bear fruit, when we have the attitude and actions that please God and benefit others, what happens? Other people are able to see God through us and in us. Now the question, in your desire to live, quote unquote, right, who do they see? Who do they see? You hear people talking about, oh, the Lord took the taste of liquor out my mouth. Stop lying. You still know how Hennessy tastes. Oh, the Lord removed cussing from my mouth. Quit lying. You still know how to cuss. See, all of that stuff you're saying, all that points to you. But when you start loving, that points to him. When you start walking with joy, that points to him. When you start being patient, when you start being gentle, when you start practicing self-control, other people are able to see him in you. And then he's glorified. He's made to look good. Let me see if I can illustrate it for you. A father is at his son's game. His son is playing. The father's watching in the stands, but the son is playing on the field. Son catches the ball, breaks through tackles, and he runs and makes a touchdown. Fans go crazy. And the father sits there with a big old smile on his face. And listen to what he says. That's my boy. Other parent says, you so proud. Say, you are. Say, man, you got a good kid. You are blessed. The father gets the accolades. The father gets the encouragement. The father gets the glory, but it's the son who did the work. That's what it means to glorify God. So when I bear fruit as a result of my intimacy, when I bear fruit, I glorify the Father. Faultlessness or fruitfulness? What does he want? And the answer is fruitfulness. Father, in your name, I thank you for this time you've allowed me to share again with your people. And I pray to God that we would all desire to be fruitful so that you would be glorified.